What's up, everybody? This is Jack from Crypto 49er, bringing you my knowledge in cryptocurrency. So today, I'm continue my series on learning from masters, and I'm deep diving into MACD this time. Before I do, just want to give you guys a trivia question for a chance for you guys to win $5 in Litecoin or $10 on Cryptobridge. And the question is this: which Web3 browser have I recommended in a previous video? So now this time it can only be one answer, and you guys can just Google it to find this answer. So hopefully someone gets the answer. As I mentioned in the past, if no one gets the answer correctly, the giveaway is moved to next week's video. Let's see what happens, but good luck, everybody. Alright, on to today's topic. So for most people, you guys already know what the MACD is in terms of what you want to do with it, right? It's just a basic moving average exponential, but it's also the crossover. Simplest way to explain it is you want to say, oh hey, when the blue line crosses below, the orange line is a downward cross, and if it's cross upwards, it's an upward cross. So this is a sell signal, and the other one's a buy signal. Very, very simple. But here's the thing. Either I, as a person that's really new into technical analysis, watching other masters explaining it, I probably misunderstood what they said, or they probably didn't explain it properly in terms of what these two lines mean. A lot of what I understood was, hey, you know what? The blue line is the 12-day, and the orange line is the 26-day EMA. And I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. Why would I want to have the 12 and the 26 separately? Why can't I just plot it onto the main graph? So that's basically what I did back then. I'll be like, okay, let me just go to indicators, go select two moving average exponential, 1 and 2, and then I'll just change it so that this one is now the 12, and this one is now this 26. And obviously I'll change the style so that it matches the color I have here. So okay, that's it. I'm done. Now I have it plotted. I don't need this anymore on the bottom. But wait a second. If you look at it more closely, do these two even match? It doesn't. These EMA lines don't match this line here. Don't match these two lines. So what the heck's going on? Because I originally learned about using the MACD from DataDash, but both DataDash and Philicon haven't really explained it in their videos. So, and this is the most recent video that I watched from Philicon, but I just want to make sure I explain this to you guys first. This blue line is not the 12-day EMA, okay? And this orange line is not the 26-day EMA. So first thing I want to do is I want to explain that to you guys what these two lines are. And Investopedia has probably the best explanation to it. What it is that blue line that you see right here, that is the MACD line. But that MACD line, it's not just a 12-day or 26-day EMA. It's actually the 12-day minus the 26-day. So you have to get those two trend lines. So basically, these two trend lines combine to make the blue line. Okay? That's first and foremost. Now the orange line is actually a signal line. And that's like a 9-day EMA. So that's what they call the MACD signal line. So this is a signal line right here. These two that I created in the past, I thought, oh, it makes sense, just plotting it. No, it does not make sense. My understanding is there's no way for you to plot the MACD on top of the chart without actually scripting it out on PineScript. So that's my understanding. I could be wrong. But right now, I know that you can't just put MACD on top of the chart. And there's really no reason to, because you're going to lose all this histogram information. So really, just get rid of this stuff. You don't want to see this on your chart. What you really want to do is use RSI in addition to the MACD so that you can have the confluence of indicators, of signals, as according to Philicon. So as I was talking about, the histogram really is just the distance between the MACD and the signal line. So the farther away they are, the higher the histogram. And you can see that when they cross, that's when it is at 0. And let's go into the basic strategy that Philicon uses with the MACD. So the main idea is that using basic crossover strategy in a 2-hour chart, buy only if the crossover happens after it has been the negative side for a fairly long time. And I didn't explain the negative side, but let's go back in here to MACD. So you see the 0 line. So this is 0 line. So this one is flat, but this is a positive. So you want it to be above, that's a positive, and below that's a negative. Essentially, to look for a buy signal, you want to see it, and obviously I'm on the 15 minutes, I'm going to switch it to the 2-hour chart. So you want to see it go down quite a bit, like this, and then when it crosses over, then you can consider buying into it. So this would be a buy signal right now, because this is like, let's say it's been 2 days, He probably won like around 3 days actually, I think. So 3 days or more. So this, he probably wouldn't like this buy signal too much because this looks like it's trading sideways. So you probably will look for something longer, perhaps something along this line right here. So yeah, this would be a good buy signal in his opinion, just because you see it's been negative for so long from the 13th on to the 18th, so 5 days in the negative before it actually crossed over. And that's when you want to buy into it. That's use that as buy signal. And if you use that, look at that breakout. Look at that 1 day breakout. So that's a pretty good gain right there. So let's say that if you bought in, you made like a good 20% actually. If you were selling it, if you bought it from this here and you sold it up here, you would make a good 20%. So that's just one of many examples of using the MACD. In addition, he also talked about using the histogram in addition to the MACD, so that you can see. So here's this example right here. So it was going negative for quite a few days from the 6 to the 9, and then crossed over around here. So you could have bought over here, and then you could have sold it over here. But then if you sold over here, you wouldn't have gained much. You can see the huge red. So let's say, for example, let's say you bought it in over here. So you see that you actually miss all the highs. You'll end up selling at this candle right here. So you end up probably selling it right around there. Let's see. Yeah, right around there. So you're only making 4% gain instead of selling at the highs where you could have made probably double that amount. And what it comes down to is really using the histogram. You want to see it when it starts flagging right here. So I'm going to expand up the histogram here for you guys. So the idea is once you see that there's a divergence in the histogram, that's when you're supposed to sell pretty much, because you want to make sure. But then at the same time, you see that even though the histogram's diverging, there's still a upward momentum for the RSI. So that's why it's kind of tricky. You have to use multiple signals, but definitely by this point right here, you see that there's a bearish signal right here on the RSI. So you can see actually it's coming downwards. So at this candle, you definitely have to sell basically, because you see it. You see that the RSI is coming down, and you can see, if you just look at the MACD again, it's like the histogram wise, it's 77 on this candle, 77.92 on this candle, and the next one is 69. So you see that there's also a downward trend right here. So I'm just going to drag this one over here. There's a divergence in the histogram and in the MACD. So this is really the perfect time to sell, is right over here. So instead of selling and only getting 4% gains, you would have sold it and made 10% at least. You know, even if you caught at the very low end of this candle at the wick right here, you still would have made 10%. So more than double of just relying on the MACD alone. So that's pretty much a good strategy to follow. What else did he mention in here? So there's a more advanced way of using the MACD rather than just using that basic crossover strategy, along with looking at RSI and the MACD histogram. Silicon suggested to look into the MACD to dive farther and faster than the signal line in the negative side. So again, you have to use the 2-hour charts. This could be an indicator, even though it wasn't in the negative for a long time, but you can see how fast it dove. And then if you bought in over here, it would have been, you could have made a profit from this. It just shows you there's definitely other strategies, other ways to use the MACD rather than just looking for the crossovers. Again, use histogram divergence from MACD as a sell signal. So MACD is still going down, but histogram is faltering. So that's why the histogram is so important, because the histogram, unlike the MACD, it's not, because if you draw trend lines for the histogram, it's not a lagging indicator anymore. And that's the main thing, because MACD itself is a lagging indicator, but the histogram is not if used properly. So that's the important part about it. And then that's what he said, like once you have confirmation, you can also enter short positions once you get downward cross confirmation. So basically, you not only profit from buying over here, you buy over here because of the major divergence between the MACD and the signal line, but then you also, when you sell over here, you can also put in a short position, and then make a probably very small profit, probably not a profit at all, but because it's on the positive side again. So you want to put in a short position over here, and then be able to close out your short position and make a good profit at this point. So that's pretty much it. A couple other things I got from his video was that trading is like playing a video game. You suck at it at first, and you get better the more you play. The best part is, unlike a video game, you get paid for playing it. That's pretty much my video for today on the MACD. Let me know what you guys think. I'll include links to everything that I covered in this video. As always, smash the like button for me, smash the subscribe button for me if you're new. I appreciate it as always. And if it isn't crypto, it isn't worth mining, it isn't worth speculating. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.